What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video, and in this one, we are continuing the training camp recaps. Guys, I'm trying to officially get you guys as updated as possible. I know I've been a little bit behind the 8-ball the last few days. That was because, of course, your boy was in Boston, so I was traveling a lot. Obviously, didn't have a lot of time to record and edit because needed Wi-Fi on the road, don't really have that. And then I did get into an accident. I did let you guys know about that on social media, on my community tab and everything. So thank you everybody for all of the support and wishing me well. Really do appreciate that, and all of you guys. But am trying to get back to this, guys, and I'm really trying to update you. So I know a little bit behind the 8-ball, like I mentioned, but without further ado, let's just jump into this. This is going to be for August 4th. This is day 7 of New England Patriots training camp. Absent Jarrett Stidham, Devin Asiasi, Dalton Keene, Ted Karras, Chase Winovich, Byron Cowart, Akeem Spence, Raekwon McMillan, Terez Hall, Cameron McGrone, Stephon Gilmore, and Joshua Bledsoe. Truthfully, this list is really no different, and I don't expect this list to change that much. Devin Asiasi, of course, we do know, did return, or not today, but has been in the mix of coming back. But I do expect Ted Karras to come back shortly, and I do expect, hopefully, Chase Winovich to return shortly. Now, guys that did return, we have Henry Anderson, who was dealing with a little bit of an injury, got a little bit nicked up, but very good to see him back in the defensive rotation, along with Christian Barmore. Some reinforcements coming back to that defensive line. Love to see both of those guys having a good training camp. Kyle Van Noy still in that red no-contact jersey. Seems to be, again, that some type of injury really lingering around for him. I expect him to be good for the start of the season, but obviously still not an ideal situation. The Patriots were back in shorts and shells today, not full-on pads. I don't expect that to last long, so just a little bit more of a chilled-out practice, but still competition. Now, in some other news, Patriots wide receiver Devin Ross did get injured versus 11-on-11s. He was limping at one point, holding his hamstring. We'll see if he comes back to practice within the next few days, but honestly, he's a camp buddy at this point. He's somebody that performed well about a year ago, but he's not really standing out. There's really no talk about him being a part of the 53-man roster. At complete best, he'd be lucky to join the practice squad, but this isn't really something to watch. This, like I mentioned, this isn't a huge contact practice for the team as they were in shells, but don't let that defeat the purpose of it. Still was a good practice. There still was contact to it. Now, moving on specifically to each position, quarterbacks for 11-on-11s, Cam Newton was 5 for 7 with an interception, while Mac Jones was 13 for 18 with an interception, but also 3 drops were included in that. So overall, it looked like Mac Jones was the one getting more of the bulk of work today. But 7-on-7s, Newton was 2 for 6 with an interceptions, while Mac Jones was 4 for 5. The quarterback play in general was very up and down. Both of these quarterbacks, both Cam and Mac, made impressive plays, but also struggled at times. Consistency was just not there for either of the quarterbacks. Again, from what the statistics say, from what we were shown from today, Mac Jones was the better quarterback if you're forcing yourself to pick one, but just consistency in general with both of those guys is still something that is a work in progress. Now, Mac Jones got all 16 straight reps at one point when it came to 11-on-11s. Cam Newton, because of that, did see less reps than Mac. For running backs, Sony Michel and Ramondre Stevenson both had drops in the passing game. As for the wide receivers, Trey Nixon also had a drop. In 11-on-11s, Jacoby Myers and Mac Jones connected nicely on a corner route. It was about 35 yards with Jonathan Jones in coverage. And then on the previous play, Jacoby Myers actually caught another pass. It was this one for 15 yards from Cam Newton. Now, Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne both made very nice contested grabs with J.C. Jackson in coverage. Now, obviously, J.C. Jackson can play a little up and down at times, but still a very, very good elite cornerback in the league. Obviously, the best cornerback the Patriots currently have on the field. So the fact that those guys were able to make contested grabs against J.C. Jackson is a really good showcase for both of these young receivers. Now, big props here to N'Keal Harry, as he actually made the catch of the day, they say. He had a diving catch on a slant route. It was a little bit overthrown from Cam Newton, but the catch prevented an interception. So, yet again, another good showcase here for N'Keal Harry, and he's probably the biggest takeaway so far from camp. I would say the biggest surprise. Now, today, N'Keal Harry also ran a really nice route over the middle to shake off Jawan Williams. Now, Jawan Williams isn't having a great camp, so I don't know how much there is to say about that, but still a nice move by N'Keal Harry. It was an accurate throw from Mac Jones, and then later on, N'Keal beat Williams once again with just straight ease. Overall, N'Keal Harry had 6 catches in team drills and was by far, they say, the best player in general on the field today. Now, Mac Jones and Cam Newton also connected on a deep touchdown on a corner route. They say about 45-yard touchdown or so. Gunner was able to beat Miles Bryant. Also, a lot of big throws down the field over the last few days is something that I have seen. These guys are really slinging the ball down the field. You know, we're seeing 45, 50, 35-yard touchdowns every single day. And I love to see it, and I hope that is for things to come this upcoming season. I hope we see a lot more splash plays down the field. And then lastly here, Trey Nixon actually had a ball go straight through his hands that resulted in an interception. You know, something you can't do if you're someone who's trying to make the roster here, but he still has also had some good days. Tight ends here, drops. Johnny Smith had one. Hunter Henry was open a few times where Cam Newton just was not able to hit him, just didn't have that accuracy. Again, that's what we talk about with the ups and downs of Cam Newton. Great to have receivers that can get open, but doesn't matter if your quarterback cannot hit them. Now, Johnny Smith had a ball from Mac Jones also go right through his hands. That resulted in an interception. Multiple guys today just having some issue catching the ball that are resulting in these interceptions. Moving on to the linebackers here. Harvey Langi had a sack. I think he's somebody that we really have to watch in joint practices in the preseason because he is someone that, yeah, we have a lot of depth at linebacker, but with Raekwon McMillan out, Harvey Langi on the defense, Harvey Langi on special teams, maybe he's somebody that can make this final roster. Really excited to see him. Cornerbacks here, interceptions, J.C. Jackson was able to get one. Jonathan Jones and D'Angelo Ross all had INTs on the day. Pass breakups, J.C. Jackson had one and Miles Bryant had one. J.C. Jackson had a great 2-play sequence versus Jacoby Myers. Both the interception and his pass broken up came on plays back to back. Now, Miles Bryant was supposed to have an interception on a Mac Jones pass, but unfortunately, he dropped it. As for the safeties, both Devin McCourty and Adrian Colbert did have interceptions. Adrian Colbert with a pretty nice interception too. It looked like kind of like a Devin McCourty play right there. But just a lot of defensive interceptions today. And then there was nothing that was said about special teams. Again, they were back in shells. They weren't full pads, so it was still a good practice, but it wasn't as in-depth as we would usually get. But before we end this one off, guys, I want to talk about the sponsors of this channel, betonline.ag. Now, if you guys don't know BetOnline, there is no place that I personally trust more for all my betting needs than BetOnline, because BetOnline has the fastest and the easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over right now, although we are finally getting back to it, but we do still have all these other sports that are full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, reality TV, and real-time updated odds and props on almost anything that you guys can imagine. BetOnline also has you covered for all of the new scores and odds, and it's the best way to place your bets, and it's completely free to sign up. All you guys got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action, and don't forget to use that promo code CLNS50 to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. But Pats Nation, that is it for yet again another recap. I believe this is day 7 of a New England Patriots training recap. I will have you guys covered like always as we inch closer and closer to the Patriots' first preseason game against the Washington football team. But what are your guys' thoughts on today's practice? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news, and I'll catch you in the next one.